Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust. David! Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car, disinterested. Don't mind him, honey. I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him. Why don't we get back home for now? You can go on ahead to the car, Mom. I think I'll take some time alone with Grandpa. Oh, of course. Take all the time you need. She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral grounds, which was completely empty, save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. I'm sure that Grandpa were in charge of arranging all this. It would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family in the same way, on the same day they pass anyway? Everyone knew my grandfather's love of toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab in the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. You told me to stay strong, but right now, I'm the farthest from it. Like that one time, a long time ago. Grandpa! Oh, it's good to see you again, sweetie. I was swept into a giant bear hug, and we both laughed as he swung me around like an airplane. It was one of my favorite things about seeing my grandfather, the way he greeted me. Unlike my father, my grandfather was always loving and playful, even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It'd always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, acting that he was busy or wasn't feeling well. Is that so? Well, it's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right? Yeah. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy said that there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we could go? Oh, I would love to. But I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see? Oh, yes! Is that a toy? It is. I was designing a new line of them, but I feel like something's missing. You don't think that you could help me out, could you? Of course! He placed the toy in my hands with a smile, and I inspected it carefully. It was beautifully crafted, and obviously a lot of work was put into it. There was one thing, though. So what do you think? I think the heart on his chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like he's alive, and it can be like a little nightlight before you sleep. He stroked his chin, considering my input while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle. That's a great idea. I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my lucky charm, dear. You always know just what to add to make the perfect toy. Well, I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa. You want to make toys as well? Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I want to make toys when I grow up, though. Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well. That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it in the same way, though. Your father, I'm sure that he just wants what's best for you. I'm not so sure about that. Sweetie, look at me. He bent down to look me eye level, with a serious look on his face. As much as your father may say something that doesn't make sense to you, now, you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that, and you need to love him just as equally. I don't hate Daddy. I really do love him. I don't know why he's like this, though. Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past, but it's nothing that you should be concerned about. I had heard enough tidbits from my mother and various other people. The only people who had stayed in that quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever had happened set up a wall between them. It was hard, though, trying to pretend that nothing were wrong. However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world, but you must always remember that your family and friends will be here for you. Daddy, Mommy, and your friends at school, and me, We'll stand together to get through it.